So I haven't had a chance to give some more of my in-depth thoughts on the Modern Warfare 3 reveal, so I decided I'd do a video talking about the one thing that I really don't like about what was officially told to us about Modern Warfare 3 multiplayer specifically. We are not talking about campaign or zombies, just multiplayer. The majority of official information that was told to us for this reveal was just amazing. I mean, there's of course 150 HP, which is going to mean increased time to kill, which was huge for me personally. You guys know, if you've watched my videos before, that automatically is going to make me way more interested in this game than I would be if it was a normal health like what we had in Modern Warfare 2 with just 100 HP. This is huge. And obviously, I've mentioned before, like 150 HP does not mean it's going to be the same as other games that have 150 HP, like Black Ops 4 and Cold War, because depending on how much damage the guns do, they can, change it. But it's definitely going to be increased at least a bit, because they literally said that in their different blog posts that the reason that they did 150 HP was to increase the time to kill. So it's going to be a slower time to kill, which is great. The faster movement sounds amazing. The classic minimap, map voting, dead silence as a perk. A lot of this is just returning stuff we've seen in prior games, but regardless, it just sounds really amazing. All having this in one game, I'm really hopeful this is going to be one of the best multiplayer experiences of all time. But there was one thing announced, and this is just what we've officially known. Of course, the full reveal isn't until October 5th, and the beta is right after that, so we'll get way more information later. But for what they told us officially, not talking about leaks or anything like that, because, I mean, there's been some leaks that they didn't officially announce, but most of the leaks have been talked about within this reveal, and that is the multiplayer maps on launch all being remasters from Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 from 2009. Now, I know how the Call of Duty community works. Anytime nostalgia is involved in anything, they're grabbed by the balls, and that's essentially what's happening here. Of course, everyone's nostalgic for these maps, I am too, and it's getting people excited. And it was surprising to me because I feel like over the past couple years, it's been one of the major complaints for the DLC of these games, is everyone going, oh, there's too many remakes. I mean, look at Cold War. How many people have you heard complaining about there being too many remakes in that game? And I said the same thing. I was always okay with it to a degree because we were still getting a lot of new maps, and they were good maps, and I was still happy with that. Same thing happened with Vanguard. There was like, 14 new maps at launch. I was very happy with that. But then the DLC, they did focus on a lot of remakes as well, but it was also split with a bunch of new maps as well, and they were good again. So like, I didn't really have a problem with it. But this is 16 maps all being remasters at launch. No new maps at all. They did confirm that there will be over 12 new maps post-launch. I hope they actually do mean new maps and it's not just including any possible remakes they might do in DLC as well, because we better get at least 12 new maps for DLC if they're not going to give us any new maps for launch. But I still think this is a problem because not having any new maps at launch is kind of shitty. Now, I don't think this is like a major thing. I don't think it's going to ruin the game. Obviously, like I said with the DLC, let's say those maps are really good, the new ones, it'll definitely make up for it in time. But just knowing that we're not going to be able to experience any new maps at launch, when normally for a new Call of Duty release, that's one of the most exciting things to see is what the new maps are going to be like. But we know exactly what the maps are going to be like now. And a lot of people are saying that's a good thing. A lot of people are saying, well, at least we know the quality of these maps. We know it's going to be good maps. Therefore, it's more reassuring or something like that, which I hate this mentality that Call of Duty does not make good maps anymore, because it just doesn't make any sense to me, given the fact that the maps aren't that differently designed today as they were back then. There's a huge variety of map designs and different types of layouts, and the types of map designs that you loved back then, they still exist today. And also the types of map designs you hate today existed back then. It's not that different today as it was back then. So I hate this idea that, oh, every new map sucks, which it just doesn't really make any sense to me, because there's plenty of maps in Cold War that are very similar to Black Ops 2's maps. I'm talking about the new maps. Same with Vanguard. Those maps are not that different than some of the old classic maps. And even in these new Infinity Ward games, although I personally have not liked a lot of the maps in Modern Warfare 2019 or Modern Warfare 2, I do think these maps are similarly designed to the classic Modern Warfare trilogy. I really do feel that way. And that includes Modern Warfare 2 from 2009. You look at these 16 maps, I could tell you right off the bat, I think about 7 or 8 of them, I wouldn't be surprised seeing that exact same type of design in these more recent Infinity Ward Call of Duty games. I don't think they're that far off. They have the same problems. They have the camping spots, the safe spaces, the overly complex design that just makes for not a very fun experience. I really don't like a lot of those Modern Warfare 2 maps from the old Modern Warfare 2. I know a lot of people love them. I know there's a lot of nostalgia around them, but I really do think people are going to start to see more of the flaws with some of the maps in this new game this year. But even if they were remastering 16 maps that I loved, all of them, like let's say it was Black Ops 2, for example. I love Black Ops 2's maps. I think they have like the best selection of maps of all time. So if they were remastering all of those maps, I would still feel the same way, because I would still be thinking, well, it's no new maps. We know how these maps are going to play. It's nothing exciting because of that. You know, I don't mind having remakes for DLC, because that's just that's normal. Like they've done that since like Black Ops 1. They've done that for a long. Actually, no, they've done it since Modern Warfare 2, because remember the DLC included some COD 4 maps. Like they've always done that, and I'm fine with that. Have a couple of maps here and there that are remakes. That's cool, but all of them on launch being remakes or remasters, that's insane to me. And I feel like there was definitely a better way to go about this. They had these maps, right? I'm sure they have at least a couple of new maps done already, the ones that they're gonna throw in for DLC. So why not do half and half? Do like 6 of the maps on launch being new, and then 8 of them being remasters. And then for DLC, the other 6 maps being new, and then the other 8 being the other 8 Modern Warfare 2 maps. You could have done that. You could have split it half and half, and I think everything just would have worked so much better, and we wouldn't have fans complaining about not having any new maps on launch. Now, I don't think there's going to be that many fans complaining, because like I said, nostalgia gets people by the balls, and they get really excited because they love Modern Warfare 2, and everyone's been saying everything about, oh, you know, it's all exciting because it's the Modern Warfare 2 maps, you know. Obviously, if it was like a Call of Duty like World at War or something, you know, people like World at War, sure, but I don't think they'd be as excited as they are for Modern Warfare 2 maps. So I think these maps are definitely going to play better than they did in the classic Modern Warfare 2, just because we're going to have the faster movement and everything. I'm very excited to see how that's going to work, but in general, I would just much rather have new maps. I think a lot of people do agree with me. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. But like I said, it can definitely be made up for in DLC. If the DLC comes out and we get some of the best maps they've made in a long time, then I'll be happy. And I trust Sledgehammer. I think Vanguard actually has a solid selection of maps, even though a lot of people will try to tell me that they don't. I don't agree. I think Vanguard has a lot of great maps, especially when you look at the launch maps. I think like, you know, Boot Cage, Numa Numa, Decoy, even some of the DLC like Mayhem and Sphere and Casablanca. There are so many classic maps in that game that I think are just incredible. And I would definitely think Sledgehammer could do the same thing for this game. So I have hope that they're going to give us some amazing maps. And I don't think this is going to end up being a huge problem. I just think currently it's the only thing we've learned officially about this game that I think could potentially be a flaw for me for the launch of Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments. I will see you all in my next one. Thank you for watching. Peace out.